Xavian.
That is pretty funny to be like, why do people think I'm in the CIA?
Yeah.
Schizoid stuff.
It is quite a bit. But I guess we could start and then just kind of jump into. Well, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Articulate. This is very, very special. We got both Josh and Ben Staab. Now, we were gonna have just Josh on to do another mental health check-in. But Ben's worried about Josh right now, so he decided we're having an intervention.
We're doing an intervention. Okay.
Josh isn't in the kind of state where you could just talk about his mental health by
This
himself.
is. I can't believe I fell for this.
I'm kind of like your spotter right now.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? If the emotions ever get too heavy to hold, I got you, bro.
You're good
I'll
because
lift
like
you
I
up.
picked you up from the car and you were just like, yeah, no, I got your back on this. I felt like this would be fun. Okay, no, it's a.
It's a ruse.
Yeah, I've been backed into a corner like a caged animal.
No, Josh.
That
we
would
love
suck
you.
to show to your friend's intervention, but you didn't know it was an intervention.
Yeah.
You thought you were just hanging out. You're like, oh, what's up?
Not
man?
only that, where's I DD'd this. I picked you up. You're like, we're on a
Yeah.
party. And
Yeah.
you're like, oh no, it's actually the complete opposite.
It's
of-
also funny to be like, oh, we need to have an intervention, and then somebody's like, can we record it for the pod?
Yeah, can we record? This is gonna make incredible
think-
content.
Oh yeah, I think it's
Yeah.
also funny to note that you're wearing the exact same shirt that you wore last time.
Oh really?
Yeah, the exact same one.
That is crazy.
You're wearing a hat this time though.
I did. I shampooed my hair today. I don't like shampooing my hair. It gets all
Mhm.
frizzy and like poofy. So
Yeah.
I did wear a hat this time.
Mhm.
I didn't know if that was gonna be disrespectful or not, but
No, it's all good. Bro.
very chill?
It's
Yeah,
fine,
alright.
yeah.
Alright.
It's I would choose to wear a hat if I
Go a little
could.
more cat. Thank you for the ginger beer. Shout out. It's
Yeah.
delicious.
No problem. So where are we at? Last time we checked, I think you were maybe 8 months sober. How long are we? Where are we at now? You've
Yeah.
got the ginger beer.
Ginger beer. 16 months, a little past 16 months.
16
Yeah.
months.
So
Damn.
double last time.
Yeah.
It's been 8 months. Yeah, still doing it. Not drinking. Still doing the not drinking thing. Working on cutting out nicotine.
Yeah, you were just asking
Yeah,
about.
I was.
feeling-
I did. I literally right before the start, I did ask if you had a vape. but
Yeah. No, me too.
it is day one. So
Yeah. I was at the ballpark the other day, and these kids, like these, like skibbity toilet kids, like Rizzlers, like came up,
mhm.
and we're just like, "Hey man, can we cut in front of you in the line for the escalator?" And I was like, "Dude, I can't." And then I looked back, and there was nobody behind me. I'm like, "Oh yeah, you got it." And he like offered me his vape, and I'm like, "Well, yeah, I'm gonna hit the vape."
You see,
And I was like, "Bro, I was like, I promised myself I would never buy another one of these, but I will hit it
Yeah.
if somebody offers it to me."
that's
You know what I
next
mean?
level though. Just
Yeah.
I feel
grabbing
like-
it from strangers.
I feel like stranger danger applies to children as well.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure. But you know, I've taken enough risks
If
in
a
my
kid
life.
comes up
that-
and offers me his candy, I'm gonna be like, get away from
Dude,
me.
if a you know, like a 17-year-old kid at a ballpark game is the one to take me down, you know, I kind of deserve to go down at that point.
17-year-old coming up to Steve,
Mhm.
offering little kisses on the cheek.
True, but
Offering you
so
food.
Josh, there's been some other things that have happened in your life that we don't have to directly address, but I think when life gets hard for me, especially, like I still drink, right, and I
Mm.
still there's some, so like during COVID, right, during COVID
Yeah.
for me it was. I was living at my parents, and I was in the worst mental state. Well, one of the worst mental state of beings that I've ever been in. And dude, at that point, it's like I don't even want to drink. I don't even want to smoke. Like I just wanted to just like be in my own like anger and just fucking like live in it a little bit. And I talked about that with Ben, actually, kind of living in sadness, but instead like frustration, you know. But more so recently, now that I've gotten used to it, I think I have kind of developed the alcohol and the drugs as more of a coping mechanism, which
Yeah.
is not good because, you know, when at the end of the day, when I'm tired, it's like, you know, it's like I'm probably tired because I drank 3 nights this week, you know, or 4 nights this week
Yeah.
already. You know, I'm probably tired. I probably didn't wake up refreshed because I smacked a spliff right before bed. You
But
know?
the fact that you're having those thoughts and those realizations is already like showing that you're on the path to real. Like I said, you're still like really young, and you can have those realizations for a while, but eventually you either start doing something about it or you don't, and eventually you're gonna be tired and dysregulated a lot, and eventually you get tired of it, or your body gets tired of it, and you
Yeah.
realize you have to start making changes if you want to do something about it, or you can just continue. The easy thing to do is just kind of continue living the way you're doing and blame others or blame your
Right.
circumstances, or blame comedy for not realizing you're better at it or giving you the opportunities, or blame the other person in your relationship that didn't work out, or blame all those around you. Then you see a lot of like really angry, sad people
Mm-hmm.
that are always lashing out at others or blaming others for their own shit or not taking accountability for their own shit. And it's just like, you can choose to live that way, or you could try to take account of your own shit and realize that,
So I think that I agree that like having that realization is definitely the one of the more important parts of it, and it's always been like in my head because my family is more so a drink one or two drinks at the end of the night type of family, which and nothing against them, but it's just always been there. It's
Yeah.
been around. Alcohol has been part of my life, and so my thing is I've always had that in my mind. But I go through these phases of, like you're saying, it does get to a point sometimes where it's like, all right, I need to cut it out. You know what I mean? I need to stop.
Yeah.
But then always within, a couple weeks, a month, whatever it is, it's like,
Yeah,
all right, time to start again.
It's a natural cycle. It's
Yeah.
basically what will happen is F. Scott Fitzgerald wrote about this a lot. And like a lot of, like, it's nothing new. It's a tale as old as time. And essentially it's like you will abuse a substance until it gets out of hand, it gets dark, it gets to be too much, and you'll have a natural realization where it's like, all right, I need to cut it out, I need to cool down. And for me, with alcohol, a lot of it was about 3 days. I'd have a really heavy weekend, or like maybe start up Wednesday, Thursday, go into Sunday,
Right.
wake up Monday feeling like absolute shit,
Right.
nervous, like
Anxious
as hell. Yeah, have to go into work, and then all right, I'm chilling out, and then I wouldn't drink Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Thursday rolls around.
See, that doesn't seem unhealthy to me,
It doesn't seem, but to me, it doesn't seem unhealthy to you now. But eventually, if you continue, what you realize is that you're developing a cycle,
Mm.
and then eventually, you're trapped inside of a cycle of your own creation, and you feel like you can't get out of it. And what it is like, yes, you can like have like a really hardcore weekend where you wake up and feeling utter shame, and you feel terrible, and you're apologizing to people, and you feel like you shouldn't exist, and life is wasted on you and such, and you're like, I'm not gonna drink again for a like X amount of time. And then after a week, what happens is, it takes like 72 hours for the alcohol to like physically leave your system, and then that's when your body starts feeling better. It's like, shit's out of my system, let's party again.
Yeah.
That's when your body starts rationalizing it, because it wants more alcohol in your system. So it's like it's all scientific. And then at like they say the first big hump, you got to get through the 72 hours.
Mm-hmm.
You have to get over that kind of like rationalization of like, let's start partying it up again. Let's start going for it. And then there's 12 days. You have to get to like the 12-day point. And then after that is 90 days is when your brain actually starts kind of rewiring itself in your head. A lot of those like coping mechanisms that you create, a lot of those things where it's like, I'm anxious, let's drink. I'm depressed, let's drink.
Yeah.
I want to celebrate, let's drink.
Right.
You have to start to rewire your brain. And that process doesn't even begin until 90 days in.
Damn.
And then from there, it's just, so like every day you're working more and more towards fixing all of the pathways or whatever that shit in your brain. And I'm no fucking scientist, but it's like, what you're describing right now is a cycle, and you're saying the cycle isn't that bad. I don't see what's wrong with the cycle.
Right.
It's like, right, because you're very new to the cycle.
Yeah.
But if you continue doing that cycle or any cycle for like 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, you become trapped in this set of ways. And that's the hardest and scariest thing to do, is break out of it. And it's actually, once you start breaking out of that cycle, it's the only way to kind of make like that significant change. You have to identify the cycle and then start to break out of it.
Yeah.
And then start to realize
It's not helping you, or
not even that. It's just like you are creating all these negative coping mechanisms where it's like, something sad happened to me, I need to have a drink, or I'm celebrating, I need to have a drink. Like this is like, a lot of things are leading back to a drink. It's like, just replace the drink with something else,
Yeah, and I guess it sounds like you're trying to apply that with other things, but weed is also a big thing for me as well, that I lean on almost every night. You know what I mean? Now, I do wait until the end of the day when I'm kind of finished trying to be productive or whatever, but do you still apply the same amount of pressure with that to yourself?
Like I told Ben today, I was like, yeah, I'm done smoking weed for a while. Like I literally, like I do try to give it up.
It's inspirational.
Yeah.
How much Josh quit something?
I fucking do. I am.
How often he quits?
I'm quitting
It's just
something.
Like, he quits more than anybody I know.
Yeah.
Every day he's quitting.
You know
It's
what? But he
crazy.
doesn't quit comedy or his job. Well, and maybe one of those.
Maybe one of those eventually.
One's gotta go.
One's gotta go. It's killing me.
Something's gotta
Killing me.
Yeah. Well, speaking of that, so the anxiety was another big thing that we've covered within your life, and so where are you at with that currently?
A nervous wreck.
Yeah. I'd say definitely still pretty nervous, still like overthinking things a lot, but it's like the anxiety definitely gets a little bit better. I think the biggest thing kind of is like depression kicks in. You can allow that to kind of take over, especially once you start getting used to being like, if you're gonna stop partying, your life's gonna get a lot more boring, and you have to figure out how
to make it interesting without those
without
substances.
The easiest. Like, I mean, it's so easy to have a good time while drinking. It's like so easy to have a good time while doing any drug. Yeah. You take something and it naturally releases pleasure within your brain. It can make any shitty situation better. Yeah. So it's like, so now you have to work at it. Now you have to find natural ways to do that. Like I've been trying yoga, been exercising more, been going on like hikes and shit, just hanging out. Like I try all sorts of stuff. None of it's as good as drugs and alcohol. But like you got to still work on it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think it's possible. One time and this is kind of a tangent, we don't have to dive all the way into it, but one time I focused on meditation for like a year, maybe a year and a half, and I started like reading a lot about like philosophy and like the present moment through Alan Watts, and had kind of a psychedelic experience through just meditation alone without drugs or alcohol.
Did you cum your pants?
I creamed. It was a little pre-cum, not like full. You know what I mean? Yeah. If you can make yourself fully ejaculate, that's the goal.
You ever come without touching your dick?
Wait, is that what Nirvana?
The first time I ever came, I wasn't touching my dick.
Really?
I didn't know about jerking off, and I had been watching porn for months.
You just were watching it.
Just watching it for months.
So he was locked and loaded.
Studying it.
He kept loading the gun.
You have older brothers too.
But one day I just busted my pants. I was like, "What's happening?" It wasn't even porn, like pornography. It was like just pictures of naked girls. I would just be looking at pictures of naked girls.
No, I do remember that. I mean,
it was just boobs on Google, bro.
Yeah,
like,
I just remember Googling Pam Anderson.
Yeah. Oh, I loved Kate Upton.
Oh, okay.
Who didn't?
Kate Upton. Yeah. She used to have the one thing. It was Sobe, like the vitamin water. Yeah. Do you remember this commercial? This is a very specific commercial.
I don't.
But it was Sobe vitamin water, and it was like,
don't play it. He might bust.
It was like, I mean, honest to God, I'm just thinking about it now. I'm getting kind of hot. But it's like, he's like, can you survive a staring contest with Kate Upton? And then like she's like looking at the camera.
Oh, I saw that. Yeah,
that's
dude. Who didn't see it?
Bro, I was jerking off that video so many times.
I think it'd be so funny at the second half of this podcast, you're pantsless and you just hear the washer going behind.
Yeah. Speaking of addiction, should we talk about Ben's porn addiction?
No. Oh, Ben, you got addiction. I mean, honestly,
porn addiction is at an all-time low.
All-time low for you?
Well, I don't know.
Or just in general.
I got rid of my porn addiction pretty much.
Well, yeah, because you're out in these streets fucking.
Damn. All right, we need to get this pod back on track. We can't be talking about cumming pants.
Yeah, we could talk about
the entire time.
We could talk about Ben's addictions a little bit.
What are my addictions?
Well, you're real. I mean, honestly, you're an inspiration to me. You stopped smoking weed like a couple months ago, and not only that, I was not very supportive. Because we hang out, we collage a lot, we do a lot of stuff, and like sometimes when we're just like fucking around collaging and stuff, I'm like, let's get stoned, let's collage, and stuff. And like, I don't smoke weed. I'm not smoking weed right now. It's just like,
what?
I did start smoking this week again though.
Yeah.
Well, that's what's interesting to me is like a mindset versus like an addict. It's more so like right now I'm not smoking. It doesn't mean I'm gonna stop smoking weed forever, but it's just like right now I'm not gonna do it.
Well, no, I respect that a lot about Ben because it's funny. Like whenever we're like
when he's ramping up.
Well, no, whenever we're like at Helium or something, or like places where there's beer and you don't even have to pay for the drinks, and it's like Ben will have 2, and he's like, I'm good, I'm done. Like
he doesn't like drinking a lot.
It's not even about liking the drinking. It's about like when you have 2 to 3 beers, it chills you out, it mellows you out, it makes a mediocre night just slightly more enjoyable.
Sure,
it's like the perfect amount. You know, you don't need 8 to 10
you
beers. You don't need to get sloppy. Yeah, but and like you fucking nail it. And I love, especially when it's like, not only that, it's like, I've seen people offer you more drinks and offer you more, and you're like, nah, I'm chill.
Yeah, I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
Just like denying drinking, everybody's just like, I'll get you fucked up.
Yeah,
man.
it's like, what?
You get so many drink offers.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ben, why do you refrain
from drinking?
Sure.
I don't know. I don't like. Alcoholism does run in my family a little bit.
That's what I remember.
Yeah,
and I was gonna ask if that plays a big part in your decision factor.
But I've always been weary of it. I'm always like, if I like drinking, I'm gonna be an alcoholic. You know what I mean?
Mm.
So I don't want to like get into it too much. But at this point, I've gotten fucked up and not like needed to do it again.
But you're
Sure.
such a good time without drinking
That's
or
true.
any of the
Yeah,
drugs.
Ben's high
like
on
you,
life, bro.
Yeah, I'm not even saying like you're high on life because you do are moody as hell.
That's
like
true.
you have your ups and downs. But
That's
I
very
mean,
true.
like it's.
I agree. I concur.
But I mean, like like it's cool. Like because when I stopped drinking, I was really nervous about like losing friends and social life and stuff like that. And not only that, it's like your relationships mature and they pivot a little bit. And like at first it's weird when you stop kind of drinking and everything, like hanging out with people. People like really don't know what to offer you, what to do like at parties and stuff. But it's like eventually it's all about becoming more comfortable with yourself and knowing who you are. And I think that's the reason why a lot of people like kind of abuse alcohol.
Or any.
That's probably the easiest. Or, yeah, any drugs really is because
Mhm.
you're just naturally uncomfortable with the person that you are. And you
Sure.
don't want to be that person. You want to alter your state of mind a little bit or lower your inhibitions,
Mm-hmm.
make yourself more sociable, make yourself cooler in some sort of way. And
He also has it easy because he's a vicarious drinker.
yeah, I
You
do.
like to watch people get fucked
I
up?
love watching. I like watching my friends get fucked up. I find drunk people incredibly annoying.
Yeah.
I don't like. I find it, like stupid and annoying. But getting to see my friends relax, like
Yeah.
when seeing that anxiety leave your friends.
Well,
and, like, on a
especially within
Friday
stand
night,
up because they're all anxious every day of the week, and you see them at least 3 days of the
yeah,
week.
some of
being
them aren't
as
anxious
fuck.
enough. You know, I think they should be more.
Yeah, some people have no-
But you just love letting your
got that
friends let
reflection.
loose though, and just kind of like.
I like it, and it's
Mhm.
like also it's my penance a little bit when people get real fucked up and I have to take care of them. I'm like, man, I did
Oh.
this for years, so
Yeah.
like I put these three guys through the ringer. It's like, yeah,
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
So yeah, talking about anxiety. How old are you now?
30.
30. So with that comes it's a big age, right? I think last time we talked, you were
Yeah.
probably 29, right?
Yeah.
So was there a lot of anxiety around turning 30?
Yeah, I think so. I think it was kind of subconscious. Like it wasn't very much like on the surface, but yeah, I something I've been researching like time anxiety and
Sure.
stuff, feeling like your youth is gone, feeling like you haven't done anything with your time, feeling like a waste, and a lot of that goes hand in hand with like stopping drinking late in my 20s was like at first you kind of look back on all this time that you wasted and you feel like you could have spent a lot of the time accomplishing more and doing more with your life. But as time goes on, I think, like with anything, the more you become aware of it, you kind of realize it's your brain fucking with you a little bit. And also it's like you can't go back. You can't change anything,
Right.
You can't focus too much on the past. You can't focus too much on the future. You just got to be present. And also all of those experiences that you have while, you could look at them as being wasteful, they ultimately led to the person that you are today, and they built this unique person. So it's like you can't discount all of them, and you can't live with that sort of regret. As
Sure.
long as you didn't really hurt anybody, as long as you try to make amends along the way, as long as you just try to be a good person here
Along
on
the
out.
way. Yeah. And that makes it easier for you going into sobriety after 30.
So like the thing is, I'm not really sober because I still like smoke weed.
Right, California.
But
sober.
yeah, not drinking and everything. It's like, because I look back on my 20s and like before I did comedy, I did a lot of photography, like a
Okay.
lot of writing and like collaging. So like I was still active. I was still doing a lot of stuff. I just
Was also getting fucked up. on
was
top
also
of it.
getting fucked up a lot,
Yeah.
which definitely impedes progress. And there could have been like larger projects that I could have developed, but now I'm doing that now. I'm like
Sure.
realizing that doing that now, doing a lot more work now. So it does feel a little bit like I'm at the starting line of a race and
Mhm.
everybody's already 5 miles ahead of me, and now
Right.
I have to catch up. But
Yeah.
ultimately, you have to make that decision. All right, I got to the race late.
Mm-hmm.
Do I fucking go home or do I try to catch up?
Right.
And so it's like if I'm gonna try to,
I don't think there's really
you know?
another option. I think going
Yeah.
home is just giving up, right?
Yeah,
And like, what are you gonna
yeah.
do? Just sit around and do
I got a
fucking
book
nothing?
recommendation for you:
Yeah.
The Tortoise and the Hare. You gotta
No, but Ben, I don't know if you feel this too, because we're pretty similar in age, but I'm coming up on my 26th year, and I'm finding out that the quarter life crisis is a thing. Now, I don't think it's to be as impactful as some people maybe make it up to be, but I mean, I'm feeling anxiety like at levels that I haven't felt since like I was a teenager or something like when anxiety was running high, maybe like 2021.
What are you anxious about?
Well, you know, it actually started with I told you Ben about this, but I climb, right? And there's top rope climbing, there's auto climbing, there's bouldering, but then there's this thing called a speed climb. And the speed climb was something that for me was, you know, a constant metric that's like, okay, it's the same thing, it's a good cardio workout, but it's a constant metric that has a number, right? So like bouldering, those are all like subjective. Even so my endeavors, right? Like art is pretty subjective, right? But with that one thing, that was the only thing that had a number that I was consistently
Yeah.
shaving time
It's
off
like a
of
wall.
and
It has
getting
the same
better.
pattern. You have to like scale it as fast as you like. You
Yeah.
like hop up and like smack a buzzer.
So
Yeah,
the
it makes me
pattern-
feel like Spider-Man.
Steve's crazy. Yeah, like ever seen a werewolf crawl up a building?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how Steve does it.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
He'll,
Fucking
like, hop 30
Spider-Man.
feet.
Yeah, it's pretty sick, right? But they got rid of it at my gym, and
Because
so
he was the only one that was.
I was
doing
having
it.
a tough day that
You
yeah.
really
I was,
was the only
I
guy.
was literally the only one.
And he'd
Yeah.
just be smacking them and be like,
Yeah, everyone at the gym's
Like,
so
what
over.
is
Yeah.
that?
They definitely had a meeting when you weren't there one
Yeah.
day, and they're like, "Can we get rid of this?"
Will he be okay?
Yeah, they're like,
Are we gonna ruin this
We
kid's
just
life?
need one vote to save it. If one person votes, save it.
Yeah, not great. Well, and they were like, they kind of like I saw they took it away, and like I went up to the desk. I'm like, so it's gone, like forever? And they're like, yeah, man, but you were pretty much the only one using it. And I was like, damn, dude. And he's like, yeah, but you know, we still got the auto belays. You can time it and set off a timer if you want. Like that's what it's
Oh.
about, like the noise or whatever. I'm like, I was like kind of laughed it off, but then I like was climbing. I'm like, bro, I don't even want to do this shit. And I saw him alone, and I was like, listen, man, I just gotta tell somebody this. Like it's not on you. But, like, it wasn't just about fucking ego for me, bro. Like, it was, like I said, it was a constant metric.
Yeah.
I was just getting good. Like, I was just shaving off time. Like, it's good cardio, and I hate running. So, like, it was, like, the only way I really
Yeah.
got cardio. And it was just, like, on a really bad day, you caught me. And to be fair, he was a good listener. And, you know, and also, to be fair, if I'm the only one doing it, I get it. You know what I mean? I
Yeah.
understand. Take it away. But for me, that also, once they took that away, that was like, wow, that's the only consistent, real metric that I had in my life that I was kind of working at. You know what I mean? Like all this other shit that I got going on the podcast, or you know, it's or the movies that I'm making. You know, it's very subjective, right?
No,
Like,
100%. It's like the way that people get very into running.
Yeah.
And they're like, I can run 6 miles, and now I can run
Mhm.
6.5 or 7, and then they
Yeah.
track that. And yeah, so I
Yeah, exactly. So my anxiety becomes okay. I'm 25 years old now, almost turning 26, and I have no aspiration at my very little
Yeah.
aspiration at my current job, which obviously you understand.
Mhm.
But you know, and then outside of that, it's like I've jumped from stand up to acting to filmmaking, and I've not really built any one of those up really. So like, what am I moving towards?
I mean, but
long-term?
that's honestly huge though, because a lot of people, what they would do is maybe just stick with stand up, even though it's not working with them for years and years and years until they begin to fucking hate it,
Yeah.
and then reach their mid-30s and realize, oh, this isn't working for me. But what you're doing is you're moving from you're trying a lot of things until you find the right fit, which is I think
Yeah.
is good. It's like what we were talking about with dating earlier, you know?
Yeah.
It's like you can think that this is the love of your life, and then it
Sure.
doesn't work out with that person, and then all of a sudden you're like, I'll never love again. I'll never. It's like you gotta fucking try
Yeah.
a lot, you know, and then you're gonna
Yeah.
find there's so I think you're making all the right moves, and I think also you've already figured out what you want is something that is measurable. You just need to find your new metric.
Have you looked for
Wait.
other speed walls?
Yeah, not even
Look at
like
other people.
not even a speed wall though. It's like what is it that you are truly passionate about? Like you clearly like to create, right? You
Right.
want to create. You want to define your own voice and your own style, and you want to put it through some way. You're like, all right, maybe stand up's not the lens for it. Maybe filmmaking, maybe like you know. But then like so you can figure out the thing and then just create your own metric.
Yeah. To me, like having a metric is almost like, you know, contradictory to being in a creative endeavor. That being ambitiously creative is also like you have to understand that it's going to be subjective no matter what. You know what I mean? So to have a metric, I guess I would just need to create a metric within myself.
Yeah.
That's not, you know, audience based.
Exactly, and also don't think about it the way that anybody else, because some people will argue that. Some people be like, you can't put a fucking number on art, like how many you're producing, but it's like Andy Warhol and Basquiat were very, very fast at what they did.
Yeah.
And Andy Warhol once famously said that Basquiat was quicker than him, and he was able to paint quicker than him. They just wanted to be able to paint as fast as possible so they could produce as many paintings as possible.
Damn.
And then, and a lot of people, that'd be the antithesis to their art. You know, they
Right.
spent years and years and years working on one painting, while these
Sure.
guys are producing multiple paintings a day.
Yeah.
So it's like art's different for everybody. You know.
Okay, so it's mainly
If you're
making
putting
a
a
metric for the reason.
Yeah, if you're putting a metric on it, that's fine. Like if you're
Right.
putting an actual number on it, I don't think that makes you less creative. If anything,
Mhm.
that just gives you a little bit more structure and a little more guidance.
Yeah.
Some
yeah.
people need that.
Some people say, yeah, I've heard that.
I'm very
like,
structured.
Like
He's not.
the enemy of creativity is no box or something like that. Basically, it's like putting creativity in a box is perfect because then you have like the guidelines and everything. But when you don't have the structure, or
You need
anything,
the box.
you need the box, bro.
You do need the box.
Ben, I mean, do you feel any of this? You mean, like I said, we're the same age, and I'm curious if you've been thinking about along similar lines at all, like kind of more
just like
long term.
existential anxieties, kind
Well,
of.
not well, yeah, but also like a little bit more long term, looking forward. You know.
Yeah, I'm definitely long term. Got my retirement account started.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I need to get a wife within the next 5 years, I think.
Yeah, you said that was your goal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I think is a good step towards, you know.
Yeah, I feel like now's the time to plan it. I feel like people start thinking about it. I think you start like when you turn 30. You're at the age where people start thinking about it.
Yeah, I definitely
Yeah.
feel a little bit of that pressure. Have I been talking more wifey?
No, not really. But I don't know. It's usually like people are like,
think it's in my
most
head a
guys
little
plan
bit?
on getting married at 30. You know what I mean? But then they start doing it when they turn 30.
Yeah.
I gotta get one soon. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh man.
Well, I mean, I also heard that, and that's the thing is like, you know, working at a corporate job, right? Is like you're around corporate people with corporate ideologies all the time, right?
Yeah.
And so, you know, I was kind of in this place where, like, you know, I'm 25. Like, you know, I'm probably not going to settle down until, you know, I would like to wife somebody up when I'm 30 and, you know, I start a family at like 34. When I'm 34, maybe she's younger or whatever. And then that whole thing. And she's like, well, yeah, a lot of people think that. But then they get to 30 and they realize they haven't done any work
Exactly.
to get there at all.
100%. They just think it's
Yeah.
gonna fall into place because the number's right.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, 1000%. That's the other thing. Like, when it comes to like opening up emotionally to somebody and being in like a serious relationship, I haven't put that work in yet because I spent a lot of. That's another thing. It was like, yeah, like the last 10 years, I've been, you know, drunk as a skunk and like
Sure.
going out and having a good time and not really thinking about too many of that stuff. Like, so yeah, you hit 30 and then all of a sudden you're like, I'm ill prepared for
Right.
like the very serious. I don't know.
What,
Adult
relationships?
life that's coming. Well,
Yeah.
but it's
Yeah, I think
also
you gotta
like a
break up.
lonely. It's a lonely life coming. Not a lonely life, but like, you know, you were talking about how all your friends are either married or
Yeah.
you know have kids, have these like larger responsibilities that they're not gonna fuck with. Your bubble is gonna get smaller. You know, your circle is going to tighten, and like, you know, it becomes a much longer, lonelier journey along the way.
100%. I agree with that, but I also think that if there's also a little bit of you allowing it to tighten, you know, because if then you need to look inwards and kind of look at why is it that everyone's kind of settling down and I'm not. What do I need to work on? Do I want to settle down?
Right.
If I don't want to settle down, fuck it, dude. Start stand-up comedy. There's a ton of lonely single people in the game.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
You
That don't plan
can-
on settling
yeah,
down
that
anytime
don't-
soon.
They don't want to settle down because they don't think they can be caged. They can't be
Yeah.
locked down.
They
You
can't be
know.
locked in.
So I mean, like,
Or maybe they shouldn't be.
like, there's a ton of people out there. To me, it's like just forcing yourself to leave your comfort zone
Right.
and try something new. That's the scary thing.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree.
Damn, I guess that is really what stand-up is. It's just like a job that you have crazy coworkers.
Yeah.
Like crazy difficult. It's like most crazy difficult
Yeah.
coworkers per. You know what I mean?
Once this kind of starts becoming a job, it becomes a little less fun.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, and that's why we're, at least from what I've heard from Ben, I don't know if you are as well, but it seems like where you guys are at, where now, you know, it's not the fun groups that we started with anymore. You know what I mean? It's not the, you know, we're in this together doing late nights every weeknight for
Yeah.
like
in the
years.
secular
You know what I
phase.
mean?
Secular phase.
What's the secular phase?
Ethical phase.
What's that?
Wait,
No, we're not in the secular.
I'm in the ethical. in
We're in
life.
the ethical stage. No, you're at the estate phase. And they're not phases, they're stages.
Okay.
I thought you were a philosophy guy.
I am, but you know, I'm very niche with who I
So
study.
He's very niche.
Very niche.
Is that not
He's doing niche Nietzsche.
Nietzsche? Oh yeah, I'm
Yeah.
not Nietzsche, surprisingly.
But no, so basically the 3 stages, right? Kierkegaard's 3
Yeah, but
stages.
Kierkegaard,
the
okay.
aesthete stage, the
Aesthete?
ethical,
I thought it was aesthetic.
aesthetic, aesthete.
Okay.
the ethical would be number 2, and then the religious stage would be number 3.
Yeah.
And in
Josh
life,
claims
you're in
he's
the ethical
yeah.
stage.
He thinks he's in stage 2 and he thinks I'm in stage 1.
Can we describe what the stages mean?
1000%.
So the aesthetic phase is what?
Aesthetic phase is essentially, you are trying to gain. You believe that life is all about experience. It's more hedonistic. You want to gain as much experience, have as much pleasure as you want. You think that's kind of what life is. The ethical stage is you're kind of typically a person settling down a little bit, realizing that, life is more about connections to another, largely very family based and, less focused on yourself and self pleasures and more on learning and growing with another and developing, creating something new, starting a family typically. And then stage 3, the religious phase, is more based on virtue, being virtuous to others and acting in more of a Christ-like way. I think Kierkegaard was super into like Christ and stuff, but I probably butchered that for any of the viewers out there. So look it up on YouTube.
But yeah, I think there's those phases with also stand-up though, because when you start, you want to like, I love staying up till 3 a.m.
You want to be at 2 Street getting banged up. You want to just be hanging out with your friends and you're excited just being around people.
Let's do whippets.
Yeah. Let's throw tomatoes at each other.
Yeah. Just anything.
Yeah. And then eventually you get to a point where you're like, I really want to do stand up and like I really like and enjoy the challenge of it, but it's not fucking fun like it used to be. A lot of my friends who I started with don't do it anymore or don't do it as frequently. You're not going out to mics every night and seeing the same group of people and hanging out till like super late with your friends. It's more you just getting in there to do a rep or 2 or to work on something. And then, and I think a lot of people that we started with are kind of in that stage right now. Like I hear a lot of people talk about it,
right?
Where they're just like, it's not really fun. We don't really know anybody anymore, but we know that I still want to do this.
Yeah, and you're taking it more seriously. You're like thinking about finances. You're like, is this feasible?
Yeah.
It's not just like saying yes to every show. It's like,
do I want to drive that bus?
Exactly. Is it worth it? Blah,
this audience is it for me?
Yeah.
You know what you want more? I'm just trying to get to that religious phase of stand-up.
What's the religious
phase 3?
Of stand-up?
That last hour.
Dude, more virtuous. You're never gonna be virtuous.
That's probably where it's all about the art, right?
You're too selfless, dude. That's why you're gonna be in that aesthete phase.
Aesthete? Forever?
Because you're selfish.
No. No, I'm
Think about
virtuous.
yourself.
No.
I went to pick Ben up earlier today. This motherfucker pulls up in his car next to mine. I'm trying to get it. You always complain about people not being ready when you pick them up and you waiting outside their house. Literally, I'm waiting outside your house. You pull up in a separate car next to me. You're like, my parking's out now. I got to go find a way to place a park this car.
I can tell you're kind of annoyed by that.
I wasn't annoyed. I was like, that's funny. Like, it's just so ridiculous. It's funny. The fact that you pulled up in a car next to me to get into my car.
So where are you guys? Where are you headed? What's your plan? Emotionally or stand-up wise?
You want to go?
Josh, you got this.
All right. Creatively, all right. I'm working on a larger writing project right now, which has been not stand-up related.
Oh, what is
I like
it?
to do some writing. I've been kind of balancing that with working on coming up with basically. I have a solid 15-minute set that I really like right now. But I'm trying to incorporate newer material into it and figure out how to incorporate.
Oh wow! So you're writing like a whole 60-minute, like an hour?
No. 15-minute set.
Oh, 15.
Did I say? Yeah, no, 15.
I thought you said 50. On my bad.
But but that's so stand up different than is different than the writing project. So writing project is kind of like a good place to take my brain when it's like ever gummed up with stand up and stuff, and it's also like kind of exploring larger themes and things I don't really talk about in stand up.
So is it like a memoir or like
no, I wouldn't say that. No, it's almost like a collection of short stories that are all pieced together. So I wouldn't say that it has like a standard like beginning, middle, end flow structure. It's almost like jumps around a lot.
Okay.
But explores the same characters and such, and will various stories, various characters will kind of take the spotlight.
So, but different themes and topics.
Yes, different themes and topics that all kind of relate to one another, and you see the growth of the characters throughout the story. So I'm excited about that. That's just been a little project. I don't know if it'll
Dude,
go
that is
anywhere or
exciting.
anything like that.
I'm pumped. Yeah,
But yeah,
hopefully
so-
you let me read it at some
Yeah,
point,
man.
right?
Been working on that. Just been working on some short stories, and then obviously stand up. Just continuing
To push, to power.
to push that, but also like just trying to kind of understand my ever evolving relationship with stand up and not allowing it to really take over my mental health, because like there's like some periods of time where like you will compare yourself to others, you will kind of get down on yourself, you feel like you aren't doing enough and
Right.
such. So yeah, just trying to monitor that and just keep on working at it.
Yeah.
You know,
No,
not
that's-
putting too much pressure on myself.
Yeah, that's a big thing, and I'm not trying to input it. You guys are obviously doing stand up and are stand ups, whereas me not so much anymore. But that was one of the reasons why that influenced my decision to kind of stop,
Yeah.
because of how influential it can be on your mental state. Like it really can be so detrimental.
bad. Yeah, me and Josh talk each other off a ledge.
All
Yeah.
the fucking time,
Yeah,
dude.
it's crazy. And so like if I ever sound jaded, I've talked about it a decent amount on this podcast. If I ever sound jaded about it, it's mostly internal jading, and I don't mean to ever like shit on, because like stand-ups are some of the strongest fucking people. Like you guys doing that at night in and night out is like the hardest thing that anybody could do. Well, maybe
I would
not
be
the
one
hardest
to
thing.
agree, man.
Yeah, you would.
Imagine being like something easy, like a firefighter.
Yeah, imagine being a fucking brain surgeon.
They
What
sleep
a
at work.
dummy.
They're just asleep waiting.
I
for
mean,
a
those
fire.
guys just watch YouTube videos before they go into surgery, dude.
But Ben, where are you at?
with stand up.
Well, holy shit. Was that, like,
Yeah, early
cracking your-
celebration.
Oh, you grabbed one? I save those for if somebody says articulate in a non-con. Out of context.
Cool.
But I'm glad you popped one up. So, but Ben,
Ben, articulate.
articulate where you're at. What's your?
He's like, actually, those are for a specific use. And
Yeah.
you wasted
Really
one.
mad
And
at
what
me
if someone
right
says
now.
articulate and didn't?
It's fine. It's fine. We don't have to like talk about it. I'm very pissed.
Yeah, the rage is coming out. I'm sorry.
No, it's all right. Yeah, you choose to wear a hat on the pod, the same shirt. I can't even get a new clip because it's gonna be the same
yeah,
shirt.
the same shirt is crazy. Switch
Yes.
shirts with me real quick.
No. With stand up, I think I definitely have more like specific writing goals, like with the actual writing. Like I want to know when a joke is like specifically over, because I feel like I always try to drag them out way too long, and I feel like a professional people like cut it off at a certain point. You know what I mean? Just move on quickly. I want to get better at, because I was doing like one-liners for like the longest time, and then I try to get into longer jokes, but I'm trying to go back to one-liners because I don't think I'm really a long joke guy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You are classically a one-liner from what I
It
saw.
just is just what happens, man. I don't want to do it all the time, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
I don't listen to one-liner comics. Like I listen to like longer people.
There's
Right.
more one-liner comics in the scene these days.
There you go.
Yeah, it's annoying.
Yeah.
A little bit.
There's more one-liners comics coming.
Yeah, it kind
out.
of got popular.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was like, y'all suck.
I
I'm
like
done
your
with
longer
it.
jokes though. Like I like one of my favorites is the joke about the Dance Dance Revolution,
Yeah.
which I feel like
Oh, that's a great one.
is almost
I'm a big
like
fan of that one.
3 or 4 little one-liners together. Like I like how crisp your jokes are because it's almost like a bunch of one-liners mashed together.
Yeah, I'm trying to do more of that.
Yeah.
Basically, yeah. I'm also trying to like look at everything I write and then look at what's like an abstract idea and then make it into like something that you visualize when you hear it. I think that's important. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's also taken over the collage game.
Take over
Collage
the
game. The
collage,
collages are fire. Yeah, I'm excited to see where those
Yeah,
go
Steve.
as
Tell
well.
what did Steve tell you earlier today?
Oh,
Was that part of the picture? I'm
Ah,
like,
that
damn.
is
that's how you get 'em with
music
the
to a
collage.
collage
Yeah,
artist's
was that even part of
ears.
the picture? Yeah.
Oh man,
Steve
Oh,
thought I
that-
was just showing.
they
him
thought of a
picture.
photograph. Yeah, dude. Oh,
Yeah, perfect.
I didn't
But,
realize that's my collage style. Is I do try to make it look like it's real.
photorealistic.
Yeah, I put that together today because a lot of people they'll be like surreal.
A lot of people overdo it. A lot of
Yeah.
it's too much, in my
Like
opinion.
super surreal.
Yeah.
It's like space, but here's a highway coming out of space,
Yeah.
and here's a kid walking on the highway coming out of space, and here's some flowers.
It's
and-
too much.
You know what I mean?
They're
Yeah.
trying too hard.
I like to make my collages kind of a little funny. I like to have a little humor.
Yeah.
In mine.
Here's our funny.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I like that.
But is are also very dark and
Yeah, they're a little
harrowing
dark
and
I got a voice.
really explore the
It's
depths
a
of the
perspective
mind.
that
Yeah.
you're putting into it.
I make
appreciate
Ben
that.
cry,
Yeah.
not out of appreciation.
Whenever I take a girl to my room, I'm like,
Eh.
my friend made this, and my friend took that picture, and my friend gave me these, and my friend gave me
Yeah, I asked Callan. I was like, "Do you think my apartment would scare women?" Like, because it is a lot of my weird ass collages up there. Like,
Mm.
You do have
I
some
think
crazy
it's
ones.
cute. I think some people
Might think
get
it's fucked
serial
up.
killer
Yeah,
vibes.
serial killer.
Yeah.
Yeah,
A lot
it
of
could
just
be.
people's eyes.
Collages in general are pretty scary. Like,
Yeah, it is we're trying to break the stigma around the art.
break the stigma of the art.
Yeah, Drew and all of them challenged me on the podcast. They were
Mhm.
like, Drew's like, I don't see what's so hard about it. Like, I feel like it's just gluing. And Kyle was like, just cutting and gluing, bro. Like,
You don't understand.
that's what you think this is?
Yeah. Well,
What if
but one
we-
thing I wanted to kind of end on was that, you know, I've kind of gotten past the anxiety that I had, and I've reached this phase where it feels like a flip has been switched in my life, and I was telling Ben about this a little bit, where like I've just been validated in so many ways where I thought I was like crazy or like just wrong or just like naive. I thought I was being naive with a couple things that happened in my life, and now I have proof, like evidence that I was not incorrect on my life. Now, that being said, it was probably good for me to think that I was wrong and naive because it helped me kind of push my questioning a little bit and like question myself a little bit more.
Yeah.
But now it's like, now that I know I'm right, what do I do with that information? What do I do I can't let it overinflate my ego, but the fact that I was right is also, you know, like I was insecure for no reason, you know what I mean? Like this whole time is like I believed in myself and I thought it let me down, but now I've learned things that says, you know, those were the way that you thought they were, but you've just moved on from that. You know what I mean? So it's a very like confusing feeling because part of me wants to be like, okay, I still need to be humble and, you know, I was probably wrong on aspects of the whole thing. But the other part of me is like, fucking the whole time, bro? No, I knew everything, you know? That sort of thing.
You
Or
asking
like,
Josh how to not have a big head? Because that's a
Yeah,
crazy
that
is that a bad question?
You're like, how do I decrease my ego? This
Oh,
guy?
buddy, you're
No.
calling the wrong guy. No, the biggest head in the game's right here. They
No.
don't even make hats in that size, all right? They got special order hats, but that head's so big.
Yeah.
That is
It
funny,
also
though.
seems like Steve's coming out to us telling us he just got diagnosed with schizophrenia or something. He's like, I fucking told you, I'm crazy. I'm loco.
Yeah, that is funny how the world ends and you're like,
I fucking called it.
I knew it
You're the one guy
whole
that's been stockpiling beans. You're like, you thought I was crazy.
I guess that's a funny way to put it. It's like
Yeah.
even the person that's
Well-
right, it can be right about the wrong thing.
Dude, that's the thing. Well, all the time is like, and that's a big thing about our relationship too. Is like, you know, a lot of the fights you have. Sometimes you're right. Is about knowing. It's about choosing what battles to win. You know, you can't hang your hat on the fact that you were right. Yeah,
Yeah.
you were right, and another, but that means that someone else was wrong. You don't want to rub their face in it.
Damn true.
And also, it's just like, cool, you were right about something. You knew yourself. Hopefully, that gives you a little bit more confidence. You can
Right.
reflect on that. But I mean, like, you got so much life to live, man. Don't
a lot more
overthink
to
it.
learn. Yeah.
Don't overthink it. Like
Right.
like quarter life crisis, whatever that is.
Yeah.
The only thing that I would suggest, and take this with a grain of salt, just start reflecting now. Think about everything you've done, because life is pretty much 4 laps, right?
4 laps.
You live to be 100 years.
Right.
Break it up, 25 years each lap.
Sure.
You just did 1 lap. You still
Yeah.
got 3 laps to go.
Dang.
Take
If
a
you're
little bit of
lucky.
if you're lucky. Take a little bit of time. Think about what all went wrong in that first lap. First lap's the best lap. That's the
Sure.
only thing that sucks. Is like, because you're learning all these new things. The aesthetic stage,
Aesthetic
taking
lap.
all this in.
Yeah.
But so enjoy that, reflect on that, and then just think about what can I do different for my second lap. What do I want to get out of my second lap? You know,
Yeah.
you got a whole nother lap to go.
Sure.
Or think about this. What if you're wrong?
What if I'm wrong?
Yeah. What if you're running in the wrong
Yeah,
direction?
what if you're still
And
wrong?
Because I thought I was wrong and then I was proven right. I'm now proven right and could be also proven wrong.
Yeah, like
after
back
that.
when you thought you were right, then you were like, damn, I was wrong.
Damn, don't tell me that. I don't want to be wrong right now. That's so
Just have
true.
more self-doubt.
Yeah, just more self-doubt
Yes.
and more insecurity.
Start doing stand up again.
Yeah, no, thank you. I'm good. You guys, this is me. This is you guys trying to convince me to come
Yeah.
back. No, that's fine. But thanks for coming on, guys. Josh Martier. Instagram is Josh Mart. What did it do
I
that?
think Josh Marty underscore
Josh
something.
underscore Marty underscore
Yeah.
underscore.
All right, and Ben
Is
Staab.
Marty with 2 eyes?
Marty, no, 1 eye.
Is it?
Yeah,
Okay. And then me at with Stabby.
at was stabby.
That was stabby. Cool. Well, thanks for coming on, guys, and
Thank
let's
you.
pop these off
Oh, hell yeah.
to finish the pod. 1, 2, 3.
Oh,
Woo!
super pop.
That was good.
That was good. I love the smell.
How can the smell?